Hey everybody. I had something come across my phone in my news feed a couple days ago, and I did some looking into it, and I wanted to speak about it. It's a news article that was put out by CTV here in Canada. That's one of our broadcasting agencies here in Canada. Kind of like your American ones, but a lot crappier, and they show a lot worse shows and make us watch Canadian content, which nobody actually wants to watch. But they're held up by the government. They're given funding by the government here, so they don't have to put out good programming. The government just feeds them money, and in exchange, they tend to put a lot of propaganda that the government wants them to put out. Now, this certain article, it kind of blows me away, the stupidity that's involved here, and I just wanted to go over it and kind of let you know what is going on out there with the way that people are looking at the world and their lives. So this article is about a study that was published in the National Library of Medicine in December 2022. I'm going to read you this article, start to finish here. I'll leave a link in the, down there below the video in the description, so that you can take a look at this video or this article yourself if you'd like to. It's really, really weird to me, the mental process that goes into this. Anyways, title of the article: Use of protein, creatine supplements could be linked to body issues, new study shows. The article goes on: the use of legal performance-enhancing drugs and substances is having adverse mental and sometimes physical health effects on young people in Canada, a new study shows. Yeah. Legal performance-enhancing drugs, creatine and protein. Really. Some concerning side effects on young people include mental health issues like eating disorders and physical side effects like hospitalization. The study, published in the National Library of Medicine in December 2022, reads, in some instances, the legal appearance and performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, have been contaminated with stimulants or are mislabeled, the study reads, which can cause further adverse effects. Which, that part of it, there are some pretty shitty companies out there making supplements that may not be putting pure products in there. I have nothing against that part of it being regulated. Nothing against that, but wait until you hear the rest of this. The study is one of the first of its kind in Canada to document how prevalent the use of muscle-building or weight loss supplements and substances are among youth. Using previous research from the United States, the study was able to draw connections between the increased use of legal supplements and the impacts younger Canadians could experience. Knowing the risks associated with PEDs, they're talking about risks associated with creatine and protein. Just understand that. And the lack of awareness, one expert is advocating to Health Canada for stricter regulations. PEDs are defined as any drug or substance used to improve not only athletic appearance and performance, but also cognitive and sexual performance. So basically anything that makes you feel better and gives you more energy. Seriously, that's what we're dealing with here. In a 12-month period, a majority of young Canadians reported using substances such as caffeine, protein bars, whey protein powder, and creatine monohydrate. While these legally sold over-the-counter products are verified by Health Canada, which means Health Canada has found them to be not unhealthy and safe, the impacts these substances can have on the health of young people, particularly men and boys, are increasingly concerning, the study finds. Now let me just go to the side here. What they're insinuating is that taking creatine, protein, substances that help you work out, give you energy, and help you build muscle, they are saying that the taking of these substances is causing mental health issues. That's what this article is getting at. These aren't causing mental health issues. These mental health issues, self-esteem issues that these kids are having, are not because they're taking these products. They're because of the reason they're taking these products, which is they're out of shape and they're overweight. That's what's causing these difficulties, and they're literally going after these totally safe substances that will help these people get over these mental health issues by causing them to be in better shape, stronger, and healthier. But in this day and age, it almost seems like they don't want people to be healthier. They don't want them to work out to get stronger. So they've got this whole mentality like, oh, it's okay to be weak. And anything that pushes you away from being weak, well, you're just being fat phobic. Well, no, this is about health. And these are products which are safe and proven to help you get healthy. And they're going after them. I'll continue the article here. What are APEDs? In interviews conducted in November and December 2021, researchers asked participants if they had used any of the following APEDs in the past 12 months. Amino acids or branch-chained amino acids. A supplement which basically does nothing. You get everything in there from other things in your diet, and like literally doesn't do anything. Anyways, I'm going off there. It just goes to show that they don't know what an actual performance enhancing product is, because this is something that is sold by supplement companies but is useless. It doesn't really do anything for you. It doesn't help you. You basically get all of these things from regular protein, so you have absolutely no reason to take more of them, except that they're really cheap to make and supplement companies can make a fortune off of them. That's the only reason they're still being sold. But they put them down here as a performance-enhancing product. They're not. And they're branched-chain amino acids. They're in proteins. They're in everything we eat that has protein. Amazing to me. Caffeine, creatine monohydrate, which of course is a compound that is in your muscles and in your brain. It is linked to cognitive abilities and your muscles' energy levels. Your muscles use it as energy to work out. When you take creatine monohydrate, it allows your muscles to go, I believe it's 8 to 10%, 8 to 12% longer before they fail. This is something that's already in your body. Your body makes it. Your muscles need it. Your brain needs it for cognitive function. And your body only makes a certain amount. And you can actually take creatine monohydrate to jack that amount up to a level where your body maxes out, and it won't go any further than that. And you take 5 milligrams a day, or 5 grams a day, sorry, and you take it in a drink, and literally like nothing but good side effects. It allows you to work out harder. It helps with cognitive function. I believe I've seen some studies that show that it's really good for older people with cognitive difficulties. It can help them in that area. It's just really good stuff, right? They go on, diuretics or water pills, such as furosemide, Lasix, hydrochlorothiazide, spironolactone. Now, these will be diet pills, water pills, diuretics. These are things that make it so that you shed water, and I believe might also help with, your feelings of hunger and such. My personal opinion, the whole diet culture should not even be put into these products that you take for working out. Anybody who's going to know well enough to take creatine monohydrate and protein powder is going to know enough that they actually have to eat to build muscle, and that's what these products are for, is building muscle. The people who are on creatine and protein, once they've gotten themselves into it, they realize they're never going to build muscle unless they eat. So the people who are into working out and building muscle are not starving themselves. Like, that is not an issue. So these diuretics or water pills, maybe I don't know enough about these, so I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm not going to give too much of an opinion here. If there is some danger with those, maybe those should be regulated a little bit more, but I don't know enough about them. If you do, throw it down in the comments, let me know. Energy drinks, example, Monster and NOS. These things have been around for forever, and they're unhealthy as hell. They're horrible for you. I don't drink them myself. I have been known to have a Monster every now and then. I've quit that now. I had a buddy of mine who was drinking 3-4 Red Bulls a day, and he went to the doctor with chest pains. His doctor's, kid looks healthy. I went to the doctor, and the doctor basically told him, you drink energy drinks like this and you're going to have a heart attack. Like, you're hurting yourself. These things are horrible. You know, I don't really think anybody should be drinking them anyways, but I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I don't really think anybody should be drinking, like, when you're talking about kids getting into stuff, I don't really think they should be drinking Coke or Pepsi either. I don't think they should be eating McDonald's. I think that our job as parents is to know what our children are getting themselves into and what they're putting inside their bodies, and to regulate that and to teach them to regulate that. You know, if I don't have any children myself, but, you know, I wouldn't be throwing Monsters and NOS energy drinks and Red Bulls and McDonald's and Cokes. And we got to teach our kids to eat healthy and exercise from a young age, you know, and keep them in good shape through their whole life. You're going to do a couple of things. You're going to make their lives so much easier because they won't have to put up with any bullying or being put down because of weight issues. And the second thing is they're just going to have so much more self-esteem, and they're going to get themselves so much further in life. The more building blocks you can set up with your children as they're growing up, you know, far better off they're going to be. So should those be regulated? You know, I don't know. I don't think they really need to be. I think we really got to stop trying to save everybody from everything and just try to, you know, be better parents and better stewards of our society. And, you know, instead of trying to tell people, no, you can't do that, you know, teach them not to do it and teach them that there are better options. I don't believe this is somewhere we should be putting our energy. Goes on, pre-workout drinks or powders such as Bang. Bang is not a pre-workout. Bang is an energy drink. It's a horrible one. Jacked, Cellucor, C4. C4 is like a Walmart brand pre-workout. Like another one called Jim, JYM. Don't even recognize the rest of these. Like, they're looking at garbage stuff here. They're looking at garbage products. So that tells you right there, again, that they don't know what they're talking about. You know, anybody who's really into working out, you know, people might drink a Bang. Same thing as drinking a Red Bull or a Monster, and I don't drink those, so I'm not going to drink Bang, but somebody else might drink Bang, and if they want to, hey, good for them. You know, it's not good for them. They should know it's not good for them, but if somebody wants to drink it, who cares? Really, with these with real pre-workouts, you're looking at a few compounds. Everything's natural. Everything's like past. The ability to put out a pre-workout or a supplement in Canada is so regulated. Like, there's nothing going into these things that is going to be hurtful to you in the proper amounts, you know. And generally, if anything, a lot of pre-workout drinks and supplements will give you less than the amount that could possibly be detrimental at all, because it's expensive. A supplement company wants to fill up with the bad ones, at least, especially want to fill up with as much cheap stuff as they can and keep the good stuff out, right? So, but everything, we're pretty regulated here in Canada. Like, these pre-workouts, there's nothing in there that's going to really hurt you. There's some caffeine in there. The caffeine gets you working out. Caffeine is a great supplement for working out. Nobody enjoys going to the gym and putting their body through pain. Like, you need to have that energy. I take a pre-workout every time. I have absolutely no issues with it. I'm pretty good with caffeine myself. Some people don't, so aren't good with caffeine. They do make pre-workouts without caffeine in them that have other things in them that are good for your energy or cognitive abilities or focus. That's really what pre-workouts are. Like, there's nothing crazy in them. Pre-workouts are, you know, there's this thing on the internet where people are dry scooping pre-workouts. I never understood that, and you can apparently get sick from doing that, or at least there have been some people who have gotten sick. I don't know the full. I don't think it's from what's in it. I think it's more like the powder getting into their lungs and stuff, or something like that. Don't know enough about that either. Haven't bothered to look into it, because I look at it and I go, wow, that's kind of stupid. I'll just mix mine with some water and drink it like a normal person. But that's common sense. At any rate, pre-workout powders are, you know, This is not something you need to worry about regulating either. Caffeine can be gotten from so many sources. The amount of caffeine that's in a pre-workout, and that's going to be the most driven ingredient of a pre-workout, the one that you're going to see effects from. And caffeine, if you take too much caffeine, it can be bad for you, but you can get caffeine from water, energy drinks, Coke, Pepsi. Caffeine comes, tea, some teas. Caffeine comes in so many places that, once again, if your child is working out and they're using a pre-workout, check into it. Make sure they're using like 1 scoop in their pre-workout, mixing it with water, and that's fine. And maybe you shouldn't be allowing your child who's under, say 16 to use a pre-workout. Maybe you should, maybe they're too young to metabolize the caffeine properly at that point. So maybe just try to, but 17, 18 years old, they're fine. A pre-workout's not going to do anything. Just as long as it's used sensibly, don't dry scoop it. Mix it with water, drink it. It'll give you a nice little rush for working out. Totally okay. Probiotics. Okay, the next on the list is probiotics. This is literally it's in like yogurt. It's good for your gut health. It helps you digest. Okay, so crazy. Protein bars, basically like chocolate bars with protein is what they're talking about there. Weight gainers. I have an issue with weight gainers. I think they are horrible. I think that before you should be taking any of this stuff, you should be doing your own research. Weight gainers are a protein powder with a bunch of empty calories just added in. So basically, you're looking at protein and 1,500, 2,000 calories in a drink, in one drink. And they sell these to people on the idea that some people are very skinny and they think they can't build muscle. And they go to the gym for a month. Oh, I can't build any muscle. Go to a supplement store and they're like, hey, $70, we'll sell you this weight gainer and you'll put on all kinds of weight. And yes, you will, but it's going to be fat. It's just empty calories with some protein in it. Horrible stuff myself, but once again, if your children are working out or if you're working out, do your research. Watch people like me. There's lots of other people on the internet that can help you with these things. Go on Facebook to the Good. If you ever have a question about something like this, go on Facebook to the Good Man Initiative. Send me a message. I'll answer it for you and I'll help you out. Depending on how busy I am, it might take me a bit to get to you, but I will do my best. If you have any questions on any of this so far, please put a comment in the description or below the video, and I'll do my best to answer it. And then whey protein powders or protein shakes. It's protein. You ever heard Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey? Whey is a byproduct of milk. It's very high in protein and it's food. So protein powders are literally dehydrated food. Dehydrated whey with a little bit of flavoring and a little bit of sweetness added to them. That's all they are. You mix it with some water or some milk and you call it a protein shake, but it's more like chocolate milk or something. It's protein. Eat a steak. Like a steak will do, that's protein. Eat a piece of chicken, that's protein. Are you going to say that chicken is detrimental to children's mental health issues, or steak, or any other kind of protein? It's literally something that you use to just, when you're working out, it is hard to get the proper amount of protein. Myself, I'm 207 pounds. When you're muscle building, you are supposed to eat 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight that you want to be at. If you're not exercising, if you're just a regular person, you're supposed to eat 1 gram of protein for every 3 pounds. So I have to eat 3 times more protein than the average person at my body weight in order to build muscle and keep my muscle where it's at. That's a lot of protein. So yeah, I drink protein shakes. That's what protein shakes are designed for. It is hard to get enough protein to fulfill your needs when you're working out. If you don't add that protein, then you won't build the muscle. If you won't build the muscle, then working out does nothing for you. So literally, regulating protein powders and creatine to children going to the gym, or teenagers, under 16 years old, you regulate what you want. I don't know about the studies on the use of creatine. Like protein powder's fine. Don't know about anything about creatine in the use of in children that are that young. Haven't researched it. do your own due diligence if your children are under that. But if they're 17 or older, like, they're past the point and they're good. This isn't going to cause them any ill side effects at all. In fact, if you keep them from taking these things when they're working out, they may be going to the gym and wasting their time, because your body just will, you can't just build muscle out of thin air. You need the building blocks, and the building blocks are protein. You don't build muscle without it. So if your child's going to the gym and not getting enough protein and working themselves out, they're going to do two things. They're not going to build any muscle, and they might hurt themselves because they're trying harder and harder and harder because they're not getting anywhere, and they're pushing harder and harder weights, and they're not building the muscle to push those weights, so they're looking to get themselves hurt. Protein powder and creatine to somebody going to the gym is, it's great. It's like, those are the two best things you can take. Those and caffeine are the three supplements that will get you the furthest working out. Okay, let's see here. These substances are used to alter or maintain a person's body weight and shape and improve overall athletic performance, the study says. A number of PEDs, they make it sound like they're drugs, right? PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, are APEDs. So that's drugs that aren't drugs that are performance-enhancing. Like, they're making it sound like if you got caught, you'd be kicked out of the Olympics or something, right? A number of APEDs are considered legal in Canada, but should not be confused with illegal anabolic androgenic steroids, which use the male hormone testosterone to increase muscle capacity. So they put one line in there saying there's an actual difference between them. Whey protein actually aids the ingestion of sufficient protein for muscle growth. True story. Kyle Ganson, lead researcher of the study, said in a presentation on March 6th, "You're using powders and different protein drinks in order to just increase the amount of grams of protein one can consume in a day, which obviously increases the help with muscle growth." Just like I said, right? So there's a little bit of good in here. Ganson says because of the concentrated nature of the product, people can consume more protein than if they ate protein-rich foods like chicken. True story. Creatine is a naturally occurring substance actually in our bodies, Ganson said. It improves exercise performance and muscle growth. True story. Amino acids come in pills or powders and are used to repair muscles and reduce fatigue, Ganson explained. Also a true story. Other APEDs include weight loss products like diet pills and diuretics. Neither one of these are performance enhancing. A diet pill and a diuretic are not going to increase your performance in any way. They're going to make you thin out. You'll lose fat. You can lose fat. They're for losing fat. They're not going to make you go harder. They're not going to make you lift more. They're not going to make you go able to do any more than you can right now. In fact, you're going to feel like crap on these things because your water levels in your body and the food, the nutrition in your body is not going to be there. Like, your performance is going to go down. So grouping those in on this article is kind of a really bad bait and switch, in my opinion. Diet pills are reported to sort of help reduce appetite or increase fat burning capabilities, Ganson said. With diuretics or water pills, this helps rid the body of salt and water to reduce the appearance of weight than one might have. So yeah, no performance enhancing. Products like pre-workout and BCAAs, once again, branched chain amino acids, are just things that you get from protein regularly, which come commonly in powder form, have a combination of amino acids that assist the body to recover from physical activity. Pre-workout has caffeine in it, and BCAA products are taken typically post-exercise. APEDs common among young Canadians. The 10 different APEDs were common among the respondents of the study. Using data from the Canadian Study of Adolescent Health Behaviors, 2,731 young people were analyzed on the prevalence and frequency of use of some APEDs. People between the ages of 16 and 30 from all 13 provinces and territories completed the survey. Some effects of muscle building and weight loss supplements include problematic alcohol behaviors. So, people are taking protein and creatine, going to the gym, and then going out and getting drunk, right? Not happening. Most people who are getting into working out at the gym actually barely touch alcohol. That is insane to me to even put those things together. So, problematic alcoholic behaviors is an effect of weight loss supplements and muscle building, such as binge drinking, future use of anabolic androgenic steroids, criminal offending, intimate partner violence, sexual risk behaviors, muscle dysmorphia and eating disorder symptoms, disability, and death, the study reads. These are what you're going to get from eating protein and creatine, according to this Canadian study and the CTV here in Canada. This is insane. They're basically like trying to scare people from letting their children be healthy. This is insane to me. The most common APED used was caffeine, with 71.3% of respondents saying they consumed it in the last 12 months, followed by protein bars, 63.4%, and whey protein powders or shakes, 63.1%. Most people start with whey protein and then they move on to creatine, right? It's a gateway drug. All right then. Ganson said, whey protein is seen as the first step for many young people who are trying to build muscle mass, whereas creatine is oftentimes the next step. Over a third, 34.6%, used energy drinks. 25.5% consumed creatine, and just under a quarter, 24.5%, used pre-workout drinks or BCAAs. The least common was weight gainers, 4.5%, which are high caloric products, and water pills, 2.3%. About half of the respondents indicated they wanted to gain weight or muscle, 52.8%, showcasing the increased usage of muscle-building APEDs. A majority of the sample, 62.2%, also said they had done weight training in the past 12 months. Well, I sure hope so. If they're trying to gain muscle, they should probably be doing some weight training. That's probably not a bad idea. There were gender differences in the prevalence of use of APEDs, the study reads. Over 3/4, 80% of Canadian young men who responded are using whey protein powder or protein shakes. About 75% of men and boys reported using caffeine, and about 50.3% reported using creatine monohydrate. The use of all APEDs is significantly higher for men and boys compared to women or transgender non-conforming gender participants, with the exception of water pills and probiotics, which women and girls use more. Despite the increased use of APEDs in men and boys, the study also notes a significant proportion of girls and women, 50%, are using whey protein. Nearly 10% reported creatine and 15% are using BCAAs. Taken together, these findings likely underscore the new pressures for girls and women to adhere to the fit and toned body ideal, the study explains. So now we're going after pressuring girls and women to adhere to a fit and toned body ideal by taking these products and working out. It's health. If you want to go to the gym and be fit and toned, that's healthy. That is good. Anything that makes you want to do that is good. Like, I understand the body dysmorphia, you know, looking at models in magazines that have starved themselves for months on end, you know, and they're getting down to a size 0, and they're just, you know, they're skin and bones, and they're just so unhealthy. And I understand that is something that women look at, and they're like, oh, I have to be like that. I have to be like that. Well, no, you don't. Healthy, fit, toned, a low body mass, which on a woman is actually, you know, they tend to carry a lot more fat mass than men do, and that's totally normal, right? And they should. You know, they have areas of their body should be soft, and it's better if they're soft. And it's just how their bodies are built. They carry a little more fat for several issues, or for several reasons, genetic and you know, to make them, going back to our far off ancestors, they carry fat in certain parts of their body to take the eye of the cavemen around them. so that they will propagate and have children. That's the way nature works. So, yeah, but I understand that them seeing these girls in magazines and stuff is bad for them, and you know it can make them feel like they can't ever be good enough. But healthy women at the gym, working out, eating properly, if they take some protein powder and some creatine to to help them along that road, these are people that these girls should be looking up to. This is totally attainable. Being healthy and a healthy body weight and a healthy body fat percentage is completely attainable. Anybody who says it's not just isn't trying. And if they say they've tried, then they haven't tried hard enough. That's really how it is. You look at me a year ago, I was cruising towards being diabetic and a heart attack. My doctor basically told me, if you don't do something, you're going to die. And I went out and did something, and it was hard-ass work. And I never thought I was going to be able to do it. I never thought I was going to. I was like, what do I do? Do I just die, or do I just go out and do this? So I went out there, and I forced myself to do it. And, it's easier and easier once you build your strength up and get used to it. But, there is no such thing as you can't do it. So having girls look up to healthy, like fitness people is 100%, that's totally attainable, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Lost my place there for a second. Sorry, everybody. The study places blame on the body of ideals of different sexes for why the two use APEDs differently. Regarding socio-demographic predictors of APEDs use, overall, compared to girls and women, boys and men had a higher likelihood of APEDs that are marketed to increase performance, weight, and muscle mass, the study reads. How to protect young people. Due to the common use of APEDs and the lesser-known impacts of continued usage, Ganson says Health Canada should implement or could implement a number of pre-market and post-market regulations. Prior to a product being accessible to the public, Ganson suggests APEDs should have an age restriction in place to decrease the number of young Canadians using the substances. Similar to tobacco and alcohol, Ganson suggests these products should also be subjected to additional taxes to deter younger Canadians from taking the products. They want to tax protein powder and creatine so that kids won't be able to afford to buy them. That's how they want to regulate it. Think about that. These things that are going to make our children healthier. They want to price the children out of them. That's insane. If we increase funds through taxation, we actually can then fund the research, prevention, intervention efforts to understand what happens long-term and to educate young people, he said. So if they tax us on creatine and protein, they can use that money to do tests to see if creatine and protein, which have been around forever and are already in our bodies and we eat in other forms or already have access to in other ways, they can do the test to find out if they're safe. Let me ask you a question. Will they? No, they will not. Taxation money does not go to stuff like that, does not get earmarked like that. It will go to, I don't know, that we'll send it to other countries or something, because that's what we do. We definitely don't use it for bringing down our own debt. Sorry for getting political there. Okay. Along with deterring use, Ganson believes these products should not be as easily accessible and could be behind a pharmacist's counter. So now you won't even be able to get them anywhere but a pharmacy. Think about that. Think about the industry that they're going to shut down if they do something stupid like this. Allowing customers to interact with someone who understands the effects, a pharmacist is going to have to learn all about these things. Ganson hopes Health Canada will engage in more pre-market testing, better regulation of ads encouraging the use of APEDs, and better product notices of impacts. Creating more transparency and being clearer about some of these products and their concerns around them is very important, Ganson said. Once the product is out for public consumption, Ganson wants Health Canada to engage in more testing to ensure no contamination of products, further education, and improved monitoring of adverse side effects. CTVnews.ca reached out to Health Canada to understand its stance on Ganson's recommendations. A spokesperson told CTV News.ca in an email, there is some degree of risk associated with the use of any health product. To minimize risks, Health Canada regulates natural health products to be sold to Canadian consumers through a rigorous licensing process, which includes an extensive pre-market review and the ongoing post-market assessment of the health product's safety, effectiveness, and quality. The Federal Health Agency continued by saying it assesses the benefits and risks of all products it approves and monitors adverse reactions. Through the Health Products and Food Branch Inspectorate, Health Canada is responsible for health product compliance, monitoring, and enforcement activities such as industry inspection and product investigation, the spokesperson said. That's about the end of the article there, until you get to this related image, which is this guy in a gym screaming while he lifts some weights, looking like he's constipated and maybe has some mental issues. This is there's some scary weightlifting guy with big muscles. That's the image that they decided to put on there to finish it off. Yeah, that's crazy. So that is the end of it. I will put a link to this article in the description so that you can check out this article yourself and get in on the craziness, because this is just wild. CTV News doesn't allow comments on their articles online because they're worried of getting their feelings hurt. So I can't even go on there and tell them how stupid they're being, or, you know, try to have any kind of sensible conversation with them about what they should actually be looking at and worried about, which is the health of our children, instead of worried about whether they feel bad about being unhealthy. Because, you know, we shouldn't be allowing our children to be unhealthy. It's a horrible way to treat our children, a horrible way for us to send them out into the world. And maybe it's time that we started getting them out to the gym and started getting them worried about being healthy and strong, you know. Maybe we need to stop worrying so much about people's feelings, and we need to start worrying more about their long-term effects, their health, their mental capacity, their long-term mental health. You don't get good long-term mental health by telling somebody that they can be okay with a situation that is obviously not okay. People need to know that if they're in a situation where they're unhealthy, that it's not okay to be unhealthy. It's a choice they can make. It's a free country. It's a free world here so far. It's a choice they can make, but it's not a good choice. And people should be made aware of the fact that they're making a bad choice when they choose to remain unhealthy. We should not be pushing for this whole body positivity thing where you can't talk to somebody about them being overweight or unhealthy. That is insane. You're not insulting a person. I would consider it an insult if I was in that kind of shape and my friends didn't come up to me and tell me that I needed to do something about it, because then they're showing that they don't care about me. When you see people who are unhealthy and you feel bad for them, like, obviously you're not just going to go up to somebody in the middle of the street and hurt their feelings by being like, oh my God, you're fat, you need to do something about it. But if you know somebody, you know, I do this all the time with people I know. I say, hey, you know, if you want to start going to the gym, I'll teach you, I'll take you out and show you the ropes, you know. Let's get you out there and get you into shape. If they choose to make that decision or not, it's up to them. But it should never be like, hey, sorry about that, everybody. Talking with my hands too much. It should never be like, you know, you're unhealthy, but screw it, just stay like that, and, you know, yay, body positivity. I'm basically, by not mentioning something to you, I'm allowing you to die, and that's horrible. So I think we really need to change the outlook on this and stop worrying so much about hurting people's feelings and start worrying a lot more about making people who are just going to feel better about themselves 5-10 years down the road by setting them on a path that is going to make them feel better about themselves. I think that's really the place we have to go. And we need to stop worrying about this this wokeness and body positivity. You know, obviously don't put people down. That's horrible. You know, don't you know, oh, you're fat, oh, you know, don't do that. But also don't allow your loved ones to be like that without letting them know that you're there to help them change it and to help them go to the gym and get into shape. And, you know, don't put people down, but give people a hand up. You know, we're here and we've got to be here for each other. And the only way we can be here for each other is to help each other up. So let's do that, okay? Let's not listen to this stuff. This fake body positivity, fake worried about people's emotions, because that's not real. It sells newspapers or online subscriptions or, you know, stuff like that. That's not real. These people don't care about people. They don't care about us. We got to care about each other. So let's go out there. Let's give each other a hand up. And let's pull each other up out of this. And make each other strong. All right. I love you guys.